So you think you know Photoshop? You think you're good at Photoshop? You're nothing. You don't know Photoshop like I do. Hey look, people use Photoshop all the time, but here's some tools that'll really help expedite your processes. Check it out. What's good, y'all? What's the word? How y'all doing? I am V. I'm your host for today, and today we're gonna talk about Photoshop. Yeah, Photoshop again, because Photoshop is very prominent in the graphic designer's role in the graphic designer's life, and obviously it's prominent in everybody else's life because everybody always want to talk about Photoshop. Nah, but for real though, we're gonna talk about Photoshop. It's a couple tools that I think that you should get familiar with when using Photoshop. These tools are not talked about often. They glossed over. They just, everybody just puts Photoshop into a box like it's a one thing, like it's a button, but it's a lot that goes on in Photoshop. So we're gonna talk about it. All right, the first thing we're gonna talk about is smart objects, right? Now, if you don't know what a smart object is, open up Photoshop. Time out. I gotta open up Photoshop. Now, if you don't know what smart objects are, open up Photoshop, get you an image or something like that, and go to the top and you'll see layer. When you see layer, look down a little bit and you'll see convert to smart object. Now, that's where smart object is. Now, a smart object is basically changing that layer into an indestructible layer. Now, when I go add all these colors and adjustments to this object, it's not actually destroying the object that I originally put into Photoshop, right? So having your images be a smart object or your text or whatever you make a smart object means that you're not actually destroying the original file or the original image. Another thing with smart objects is you can always eliminate steps, like they become layer styles. You know what I'm saying? Like you can turn them off, like turn off the eye, and now instead of having definite thing going on here, you can manipulate it on and off and keep on playing with it until you get it how you want without the original file being tampered with. That's number one. Another tool you should be using in Photoshop, which is one of my favorites, is layer mask, right? Now, the layer mask is located at the bottom right under your layers most times for the essential workspace users. You click on your layer and then you make a layer mask. Now what the layer mask does, which helps me a lot, it allows me to erase and cut out my images without, again, tampering with the original image, right? So I turn on this layer mask and I can erase the background around my image. And if I don't like it, I can put it back. You see what I'm saying? So when I have this layer mask and I can erase stuff and put it back, it makes me able to make mistakes because I'm a human, I guess, right? We human, right? We make mistakes. And so it allows me to put my mistakes back. It also allows me to add a gradient, change the opacity from 0 to 100 with the gradient tool in this layer mask. And I'm not messing with the original image at all. That's number two. I love layer masks. You should really get in tune with those. Number three, we're gonna talk about actions. Now, my partner is saying loves actions, right? I like them too. They're really good. But the actions allow you to make a preset of your actions, right? You make a preset of your actions. So say you had an image say you had a project and it was 300 images that you needed to make 300 by 300 and you needed to place them in the center of another image. All these objects need to be the exact same in the exact same position. Well, what you would do is create an action. You go to Window, action, you'll see a drop down list. At the bottom of that drop down list, you'll see a plus. Press the plus, name your action, and it'll start recording. Now, what Photoshop is doing from this point is recording your actions literally, like whatever buttons you click, it's recording that. So say when I grab this image, move it to the center, then resize it, I could press stop. And now for every image after that, I can just go to this action, press play, and it'll go grab the image, move it to the center, and resize it. Amazing, right? One of the best time-saving tools that you will ever run across. Also, actions come in templates. So people who have templates to like cartoonize people, they have templates for watercolors, they have templates to set people on fire, not literally. But you know, like a cool graphic design where somebody's like on fire and you know, their veins is coursing lava, that type of stuff. They got all type of action templates. And once you get in tune to how to use these templates, guess what? They're at your disposal. So you're gonna level up. That's what we're about, leveling up, right? All right, so another tool that I use this tool actually a lot, is the perspective warp. Now the perspective warp is located in the edit tab. Scroll down, you'll see perspective warp. Now what this does is warps the perspective. It warps the perspective. So check it out. If you got an image that's flat, and you know, flat is cool, but it's a little boring. You know what I'm saying? You got this image that's flat and you want to turn it a little bit. You know what I mean? Like just a little bit. You could do that with perspective warp and it keeps everything in line. You know, it doesn't distort the image at all. It just turns it a little bit. You know, it might distort it a little bit depending on how far you go. Now, if I went from flat to like, it doesn't go to the backside. You know, it's still a 2D image, so it doesn't go to the backside, but it'll go pretty far where you can see the vanishing point happening, you know? And what that does is add interest to your images or your design, whatever it may be. It could just be words. And instead of the words being right in front of your face, you just tilt them a little bit. And it gives it a little design aesthetic, you know, it gives it a little life. And creatively, we need all the life that we can get out of everything, you know? So this perspective warp, one of my best friends, especially in Photoshop. They have 3D tool too, but I'd rather just use this perspective warp because the 3D tool for my Mac slows the process down and it bogs my computer down. It's not even that necessary a lot of times. I just want to turn the image a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I just want to turn these words a little bit. Just a little bit, just a little bit. So, you know, those are my tips on my top tools that I use in Photoshop. And that's the topic for today. Get into Photoshop, get to learning these tools, get to use them a little bit more. And look, I'm not a guru by no means. I'm pretty good. I'm very good at what I do. But I'm not the know-all, be-all, you know. So if you got something that you think I should add to my list, let me know about it. Add it in the comments. And while you at it, subscribe to the channel. Why not? You might as well. Just click the button. That's all. Hey, look, man. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on whatever you want. Whatever social media you want. Type in Clay Visions Designs. And follow me. You know, I'll follow you back. That's it, y'all. See y'all next time. Clay Visions Designs. I am B. Peace.